Well, if it worked for Young Justice, then I fail to see why it wouldn't also work for these shows as well. Oh wait, Disney. So for the past 5 years or so at Marvel Animation, things have been going to shit, as there is a clear dip in terms of quality, both in terms of storytelling as well as the overall animation in general, case in point being Marvel's Spider-Man. However, in terms of recent news, it does appear that there is some hope for some sort of resurgence, albeit very slim, because about a week ago we have heard some news in that the creators of the X-Men animated series have been more eager than ever into reviving the show, which is something that they've pretty much echoed for the past several years. The interesting thing about this was that very recently they did mention that they were in talks with Disney into bringing the X-Men cartoon back. Now, at the time of this recording, the information surrounding said conversation have been pretty scarce at best, but from what we do understand is that it is mainly up to Disney to decide on said decision. In other words, if Disney decides to give them the thumbs up, then the original creators will come back and revive the show indefinitely. And speaking of the X-Men, it does appear that we also have 2 potential shows that might have a slim chance of coming back as well. The first of which being Wolverine and the X-Men, which might be a little complicated given the possible chance of the original X-Men revival, and the latter of which being the critically acclaimed Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes, which I do believe that one has a much stronger chance of actually being revived. Both of which were created by Christopher Yost, and he does give us a bit of insight on how these shows could potentially be revived if given the chance. Now, I'm not quite sure on the original source or who messaged Christopher Yost, but recently someone did plead for him to come back to Marvel Animation and revive said shows, to which Yost did reply that it is up to Marvel and Disney, and furthermore it will all be determined on the views on Disney Plus, as both Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes as well as Wolverine and the X-Men are currently on Disney Plus. So pretty much in a similar vein to Young Justice, if there's enough demand for these shows to come back, and if the overall viewership on Disney Plus is high enough, then the chances of Disney possibly bringing back all of those shows will be much greater than ever. And ever since all of this came into light, a lot of people have been grouping together into watching both Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes as well as Wolverine and the X-Men on Disney Plus in order for these shows to get picked up again. And this also includes the original X-Men the animated series as well. And if this is the one thing that will actually bring all of these shows back, then I pretty much encourage everyone into watching all of these shows on Disney Plus. Although the only downside to this is that this does exclude the Spectacular Spider-Man, but that is pretty much because of all of the legal rights surrounding it, and I think if they were to even consider bringing the show back, then they have to pull off a lot of strings and overcome many complicated obstacles. And honestly, I would love to see all 3 of those shows come back once again, because there's so much potential that all of these animated shows have to offer, and not to mention they are all very popular. And considering that Marvel Animation seems to be lacking as of late, I do feel like this could be the answer to their struggles. But again, it all comes down to the overall viewership for these shows on Disney Plus and just Disney finally getting their heads out of their asses. So what do you think of this potential resurgence for Marvel Animation? Do you think that there is a pretty high chance into seeing the revival for Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes and the X-Men, or do you think that this is all just in vain at this point? Comment below and share some thoughts. And as always, thank you guys for watching this video. Please like and subscribe. Take care and have a good one.